Hello everyone, welcome back to another killer concept. Today we have the Reflection. This is based off of, well, nothing this time. Nothing specific anyway, mainly folklores. Have you ever heard of creatures that live on the other side of the mirrors, just waiting to drag you into it? I'm sure most of you have. It's a story that you hear a lot when you were younger, and this killer is based off of them. This killer is mainly there to ensue distrust among people and make you question absolutely everyone else in your game. People with mics may survive better against this one, though if someone wants to troll the game, it will make it so much easier for them and so much more fun. But without further ado, why don't we hop right in and we can get right started on their info, which unfortunately isn't very helpful, as all of their things are indeterminate. Their speed, their height, and their terror radius, along with their weapon of choice, can change depending on a lot of things. Though, if they do not have an item to be able to be made into a weapon, they have a mirror shard, remnants of what they are. Now, you would probably like to know why these are all indeterminate. This is because it is based on their ability, which, if we don't get right on into it, things won't be making sense. So their ability is called Mirror. It allows you to place 5 mirrors around the entire map, ranging in size. You can't always tell what size is going to be placed. It is completely random at choice. Some will be a lot more sneaky, meanwhile some will be just huge ass mirrors. And these mirrors are the way in which you get around and have fun. The killer has the ability to turn into the survivors in the game. The survivor has to be in front of the mirror for long enough for it to be able to take an image, and once you've found that survivor, you can pull it up on your ability and crawl through that mirror. As you crawl through that mirror, you take on the form of one of the survivors there. If the survivor has an item at hand, that becomes your weapon. A toolbox, a med kit, even a map or a key, and a torch as well. You can use all of these as weapons, though again, it depends. If the survivor isn't carrying any items, you use a glass shard that is almost invisible to the naked eye, as it looks like you're running around with nothing. It appears best when you're about to strike. Now, it's fun and games for everyone, especially the person who you transformed into, because that survivor, well, that one cannot see your terror radius or your red stain. In fact, no survivors can see your red stain. They all hear your terror radius, bar the one that you've copied from. They're completely unable to hear or see anything in regards to you. But that's mainly because they can notice you're a fake. How many players out there have the exact same skin after all nowadays, and the exact same equipment? Basically, if they stay vigilant, they'll notice you for sure. On top of that, a side ability for what you can do, if a survivor decides to stand too close to a mirror, you can also choose to do an attack where you can reach your hands out, grab hold of them and pull them through the mirror, dealing 1 health state of damage. This is a way to make it so you can disorientate them. One stands in front of the mirror too long, you can pull them to the other side of the map. Different height, different range, different anything. There is no limit to how far you can pull them, how far you can see through these mirrors. But just remember, you can either pull them through and damage them, or turn into them and attack them. On top of that, the one that you pull through the mirror to attack, you end up seeing that aura for 10 seconds. But after you pulled them through and you've turned into them, you're not allowed to attack them. You can see their aura for 10 minutes, which allows you to see where they're running. Some will run towards their friends, some will not. It's your choice to do it, but they are unable to be harmed for that 10 seconds. Unfortunately for you. Now, we'll get right onto their perks, which are all mirror themed. Perk 1. Reflective Personality. It allows you as a killer, when you have this perk, it'll pick a random perk from one of the survivors in-game and change it to be a benefit towards you. Good example of this is exhaustion perks. Say a survivor has lithe. You will gain a killer variant of it, allowing it to be if you vault or destroy pallets, you end up gaining, well, a speed buff. But other things would work just as well. Maybe if they have dead hard, it'll allow you to tank a pallet. Or say they have, I forget what its name is, the scaredy cat ability that lets you know when a killer is close to you. You'd have an alternate one, similar to the Whispers perk, where you'd be able to tell when survivors were nearby. Small things like that. Is it a strong perk? Who knows? It depends on what perks the survivors are using. Perk 2, Hex, Other Side. Makes it so survivors are unable to use pallets, totems, or gens, while you're able to. This pauses the game until they can destroy the totem. It means that you can pull down pallets and destroy them. It prevents them from being able to work on gens for the time being while this is up. It allows you to damage them more so than what they already were. Or you can choose which ones get started up by working on them ever so slightly, which encourages survivors to go to use those gens more once the hex is done. Or they might choose to steer clear of those, knowing that's exactly what you're doing. It's a good way to switch up the game. How you choose to do this is completely up to you. Perk 3, Shattered. When stunned by a pallet, it will destroy all other pallets in the local area, while on top of it giving the survivors a brand new status effect. Yes, this is another one I have made, and the status effect is called Shattered Hope. Basically, when a survivor is afflicted with Shattered Hope, it causes the survivor to lose all will to use anything or fight back. Every vault they do is a medium or slow. It'll make it so items that they have on them, such as flashlights, their aim will be much harder and it drains more battery quicker, as they have no desire to properly use it. And also make it sometimes where they won't be able to lift it up properly at all. This is the same with pulling down pallets and using gens. You'll be much slower at using all of these till the perk timer runs out. Then you'll go back to being fine. Bonuses that you can use for map, which increases luck, will make it so the effects of this are decreased, giving them a bit more use in the game. Now, as always, we're going into their lore, as we've been doing with all the videos lately. So, without further ado, why don't we get right into it? This being is from an alternate plane. They have been for centuries. They're the creature that watches you in the dark, on from the corner of your eye, the thing you always feel as though you saw in your mirror. But we're never too sure, because the second you look back, well, all you see is yourself. It is a being that has lived for centuries, observing and watching, and on occasion, stealing people up and eating them. Though it knows whether people will be lost with a purpose or lost without. Or if they take someone who has a purpose, it means people will look for them. They have a purpose to move on with their life and keep on going, so other people notice them and they're much harder to take. People will start investigating. The best ones are the ones that have got no hope. The ones that nobody will care if they take. There will only be a house left abandoned in the middle of nowhere. They did this for years. There's even stories of it, such as tales and that lot. I'm sure if you can think of some in your lifetime, you can think of the story of the creature that lives in the mirror, or you do a certain chant in a mirror and it'll cause the creature to appear, one form or another. This has been here for centuries. This knows people, and the entity has been watching. Never decided to take this creature, as it didn't realize whether it would be useful to it, whether it would bend or obey, as all it ever did was what it wanted: stalk people, find the prey, and take it, It was believed for a long time in the entity's eyes that this was an animalistic being, nothing with intelligence, nothing that it could use. But over time, its mind got changed. It could tell that it was thinking things through properly. It advanced over time. The more people that ate, the more intelligent it got. Almost like a hive mind of collected minds, souls, and consciousnesses, all combining into one.
I know you guys are going for these 2 generations.
Eventually, it decided to step out of its prison, disguised as closely as it could as a humanoid. Though, as many of us know, their face is reflected perfectly on both sides of a person. You can tell it looks human, but it isn't human. And that's exactly how this one looked. It was hard to tell what it was, but you could tell that it was not natural. It tried doing what it always did, watched people, and waited for the perfect time to strike. Though doing that from the other side of a mirror was so much easier than doing it in real life. People resisted. People noticed a grown adult staring at them from the other side of the street, from the other side of the park, or heck, even someone following them home, especially with a symmetrical face that made her seem oh so more creepy. The entity decided it wanted to take it. Knowing that it had the ability to make a physical form made it seem worthwhile. In the middle of a foggy night, it walked down a weird alley, trying to follow a homeless person who got the heebie-jeebies the second he realized that she was watching her from the other side of the street and ran off down an alleyway. As the reflection walked down there, it eventually peered out into the realm. A place it had never seen before. A place where its mirrors could be placed wherever it wanted. A hunting ground for people that were already lost, forgotten, and never cared about. This hunting ground was perfect. It didn't know what put it there, or what its purpose was, but it was hungry, and saw the opportunity, and thus the reflection started having fun with its food once again. Thank you very much for listening to this one. I know the lore wasn't very long on this one, but I did struggle with it, especially with a lot of stuff going on family-wise and at home. It made it very hard to try and do this one, so I do apologise. But yes, if you're enjoying what you're listening to, don't forget to leave a like. If there's a killer concept you'd like me to do, don't forget to put it in the comments. I will always get down to it and get it done. And if you would like them to be a survivor instead, do let me know, and I will choose to do a survivor instead on that one specific person for you. And if you want to keep up to date with what's going on here, don't forget to subscribe or check out my Discord channel. You can keep up to date with all the stuff that I'm doing on Twitch or YouTube. I also have some shorts coming out that are based off of the past killer concepts, which I'll be trying to get them released more frequently till we get to the point where every time we release a killer concept, we also release a short about it as well. But yeah, without further ado, I need to do some, self-reflection. Cerberus will be barking at his own mirror. Ow!